So just
Welcome to an evening with the Nordic Sound.
just as a warning, I'm referring to you as the elusive Mrs. Nordic Sound, so do with that what
It
you
can be
want.
more elusive.
I can be elusive in this video.
Not here.
Like over the course of the video, she's
Further and further away. Till there's nothing but cricket left.
Like what the Grinch does?
Yeah.
well, we're
So
off to a
fucking
great start.
tired.
So I'm doing something a little bit different for this review of Fire in the Mountains than I typically do for a festival review. Me, Chris, and Alyssa traveled to Fire in the Mountains together, and we really felt the need to do a review that was more in the style of just a conversation between friends. Because we all just had so many thoughts, and anyone who went to the festival will understand. Just even days after getting home, just so many things rattling in our minds to think about. Cricket even has so much to say himself, that writing a review just didn't really seem digestible because of just how much there was to talk about. So what you're about to see is just a little experimental type video. Haven't really done one of these like in-person conversations before, but because of the nature of the conversation, it's much more open and freeform. So I wanted to really just make sure that I did a more concise review of the festival at the beginning to preface the conversation that you are about to watch. So first things first, if you want to see just my more emotional response to the festival, just go check out the Nordic Sound Instagram, nordicsound.ig, where I talk about more personal reasons why this festival resonated so much with me and why it was really a special event. But talking about an actual review of the festival impressions and all that, I just want to make it very clear that this was a special, unique, and powerful event. There's a lot of risk in doing a dry music festival in a very remote location, especially a metal festival, right? And so with that said, I want to just make it clear that, to me, this festival was nothing short of an absolute success from the outside looking in. So I'm just speaking from the perspective of someone who went and someone who left that event thinking, we, people, need more events like this. We need more gatherings like this that use the strength of music, of reaching across boundaries to connect people who would otherwise really not have many ways of connecting. The Firekeeper Alliance and the collaboration with the Blackfeet tribe is, really evident of this event's capacity and potential for bridging communities and finding common ground and working towards just the betterment of us, right? And so I just really wanted to make that clear at the beginning of the video because this conversation is, fun between friends, but I just wanted to make it very clear at the top of the video that if you have any reservations about going to this festival, please go. Trust me, you will not regret it. It's just simply put worth everything it takes to get to this festival. And there's nothing I want more than to see this festival succeed and thrive, because I genuinely mean it when I say that we do need more music festivals, music events, human events like Fire in the Mountains. So at the risk of overstating my point, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will too. And please, especially in talking about the bands, we could not talk about every band or every event, every minute of the festival. So please join in the conversation down in the comments section. If there was anything from the festival that we didn't mention that you want to bring up and talk about, please do so in the comments so we can continue to reflect on what was really just a wonderful, really powerful weekend. So again, thank you for watching. Now let's get into it.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to an unusual installment of the Nordic Sound, where it's not just me. I am joined by my good friend Chris Welsh of Sun and Moon Dance, and the elusive Mrs. Nordic Sound as Cricket chews a peanut very loudly to keep him quiet. And we thought that it would be better than, or at least I thought it would be better than doing my typical festival review in which I write a lot of words and then talk at a camera. And hope that someone on the other end eventually listens. I thought it would be a good idea for the three of us, since we attended the festival together, to sort of talk about our experiences there. For anyone who either went and wants to sort of reminisce with us and wax poetic with us, or for a more utilitarian purpose, anyone who is thinking about going next year, who wants to hear more about it and our thoughts for next year, and the festival in general. So guys, welcome to the Nordic Sound. How are you all doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Janice.
Excellent. And you?
Same, yeah.
All right. They're still recovering from a collective 30 hours in the car with me. So we're going to talk about the travel aspect in just a second. But first, just a little overview about Fire in the Mountains. The last one was in 2022. Enslaved and Wolves in the Throne Room, and I believe Steve Von Till headlined that year. And after they got asked to not come back to Jackson Hole, to put it diplomatically, they took a few years off to find an ideal, more purposeful and meaningful location to have the festival. And this year they found they were invited to the Blackfeet Reservation to put on a pretty special festival there. The details of that we will talk about in more detail in just a little bit. But then just first off, for anyone who follows the Nordic Sound channel, who wants to know why is a Nordic music podcast talking about a heavy metal festival in Montana, just look at the program. I mean, and not just the headliner, Vardruna. I mean, like Hex Vessel, Lindy Faye, Bardspec, and then of course By Norse was a huge part of putting this thing together. And so if I feel the need to explain myself, that is why. But enough of me rambling on for the introduction. Let's get right into it by first talking about the location of Fire in the Mountains for this year. It did take place at 2 Medicine Lake in the Blackfeet Reservation in the mountains. And so I guess, Alyssa and Chris, what was the first view we were greeted by when we finally got off the hellscape that is the Montana Plains and got closer to the festival proper?
Well, we were greeted by 2 Medicine Lake from the very top of whatever mountain we were driving on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just right then you knew you were in a special place.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing those mountains, those glaciers in the distance, I mean, I was in awe.
Mm-hmm.
Through the crack in the windshield, I was able to see a very beautiful, remote location. It was just nice not seeing any concrete around, to be honest, or plains, honestly.
Yeah, our windshield cracked literally in the last 30 minutes of the 14-hour drive, and so that's what Alyssa's referring to. I was perfectly calm and collected about it.
Oh, 100%. I've never seen anyone more dignified in their response.
Oh, God, I'm looking forward to you guys continuously roasting me on my own podcast for the next 30 minutes or whatever this is going to end up being.
Is that not what friends do?
Your knee is covered in peanut shrapnel. But yeah, so I mean, what's best about it, what really made that view worth it was, again, you're 30 minutes away from the location as per the GPS, and you're still on the plains of Montana, which has a certain kind of beauty to it that you don't really appreciate at the end of a 15-hour drive, right? And so there was something about finally seeing that after so much time of driving through the plains that really made it refreshing to see. And so I guess we could talk about what was it like getting to the festival, because I'm sure a lot of people see how remote it is and are probably wondering how easy is it to travel to. And for us who drove from Denver, what was the drive like? Was it easy to get to?
I slept for most of it.
Yes, you did.
When I was awake, it was very sunny and flat. Never ending.
Yeah, so we got there by driving pretty much straight through from Boulder up through Sheridan, Wyoming, and all that. And for at least me and Alyssa, we've done that drive a few times. We used to have family up in Eureka, which is just on the other side of Glacier on the Canadian border. But even for us, that drive is pretty daunting. And for those of you who have the means, though, the flight into Kalispell, the airport, and then taking a shuttle provided by the festival is probably...
We're the best.
I'll probably want to do that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah? How would you feel? Would you rather drive again or fly? I know you hate airplanes.
Dude, I'm all about road trips.
I know you
I like the memories to get on road trips, and especially I think instead of you driving a crap ton, like switching off definitely.
Yeah.
Having multiple people in the car was definitely a must, because I could see that being a very daunting task by yourself, unless you're like me, who does like to travel and
Mhm.
has means to sleep in their car on the way.
It'd be hard for us to all crowd in the back of the Subaru, but you know.
Sardines packed in a little.
They're real cozy.
Yeah, I guess that is important context. Chris is an animal when it comes to driving. This is his third summer in a row driving all the way from North Carolina to here just to spend time with us for whatever reason.
It's almost as if you like us.
It's almost as if he likes us. Yeah, I'm starting to get that feeling. And he drives it straight through by himself. So I guess you are a little biased on the road trip thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had to drive that alone, for anyone who's thinking of driving that alone, I will at least say
Space it.
definitely space it. But would you guys characterize the drive, like let's say someone did fly into Denver and maybe want to drive the rest of the way. I heard some people talking about maybe wanting to do that instead. Is it a scary drive?
I didn't
Scary?
think it was scary.
No,
Yeah.
plenty
Now
of,
that we've done it, yeah.
plenty of rest stops and gas
Yeah.
stations, so it's not like you're, totally boned.
Yeah, and unless I was not paying attention, it felt pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
It was just boom,
Straight shot.
boom,
Yeah.
Mhm.
we're there.
Yeah, the only reason I wanted to bring that up is because I saw a few people said I wanted to go, but like the drive looks really daunting. And I know that some of our friends who did end up driving alone, they were also worried about the drive doing it alone. But then they got there and the same thing. You aren't actually as in the middle of nowhere as you would assume by looking at the map. But yeah, so then once you are there, how did you guys feel about the layout of the festival?
Pretty solid.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, it was just the campsites were just, the general mission was just so sunny that the tent at any time other than nighttime was like a little mini convection oven of sorts. So on that note, just make sure you bring plenty of water and shade of some, like
Mhm.
canopies. Yeah,
Yeah, I think canopy would be.
I'm ready to go purchase one, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I felt the layout was really. I like the layout.
Good flow.
You know, the campsite was. I mean, that's like most festivals. I
Yeah.
think is where you're just roasting in the sun. So yeah, but no, I thought the little village where like the food and all the concessions were. I thought that was perfect distance
Mhm.
from like the music, and then having the two stages in very close proximity,
Mhm.
and not having multiple artists play at the same time was just so good. So if you wanted to see everything, you could.
Yeah. Yeah, we
The
will
food
definitely.
flow was great because you go from your campsite to, again, where all the food is, you get to the bathroom break chance if you need it, and then right into the stage area. But then you can also go straight down to the talks, so that when you're done with the talks, you just go right back to the stages
Mhm.
once they begin. So like the flow is actually really well thought out. But
Yeah, let's talk about the shade aspect. So Alyssa and I were at the one in Jackson Hole. You never went to one of the Fire in the Mountains that happened in. Yeah. Anyone who went to the last location, there was nowhere to hide from the sun. Except for in the awning that the festival set up, and talk about sardines packed, right? Under that one canopy that was in the festival grounds. Yeah, that was sardines. Especially, 8 hours a day of just straight blast beats in the Wyoming sun with nowhere to hide. That actually did take a number on the soul after a bit. But this is much more wooded. Like this is in like sort of the alpine
and there's
woods.
also like a very chilly lake nearby.
Yes, and the lake. Oh, Cricket, you have something to say?
Strike one.
Strike one, buddy. And yeah, so there were definitely ways, if anyone's remembering just how really brutally hot the festival was in Wyoming, it was also hot here, so we're not going to sugarcoat the heat. It was definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, Alyssa's the tannest I've seen her since we got married 7 years ago. And strike two, buddy. And so there were definitely ways to cope with the sun. But I would recommend, for anyone who's sensitive to it, definitely bring... Alyssa brought out an adorable little parasol. Or an
Just an
umbrella.
umbrella.
There was just something adorable about you walking around. Like,
Alright.
And there were definitely multiple people that had umbrellas
It's
out
good,
there.
it's a good call, because sunscreen alone wasn't quite doing it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, but then I love you brought up the sort of state fair type of thing that was in the middle. I mean, like that central location where there were all of the native food trucks that were set up, and that was something that I really liked. Was it wasn't like a whole bunch of people were setting up for a music festival on Blackfeet land and then importing a whole bunch of bougie Boulder food trucks. Like we all kind of had that.
It was
fear.
just nice, honestly, like you know, after listening to a show in the sun, just going up and getting a $5 burger.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not
Foreign concept to people living in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, you're not looking at some gourmet, like, bougie.
There was that option. There was that
$20.
option,
There was an
right?
option.
There was an option for people who want to get fancy, but you know, nachos, burgers,
And
hot
fry
dogs,
bread.
and yeah,
Fry bread.
Fry bread was amazing.
Oh, and that amazing, I don't even call it a food truck, it was a food RV
Yes.
that was set up with $1 coffees.
Yeah,
I was so thankful for
Yeah.
those people, and that was just a thing that I appreciated the most was that, you know, they were there, you know, we being the white people, and you know, having the indigenous people there, like they took care of the people there, and I thought that was so amazing, and I was like, I wanted to support that, so I was like, give me those $5 greasy red burgers.
Give me those Dorito nacho platters with the Velveeta cheese. Give it to me.
I was all about that.
oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess, you know, just before we move off the camp aspects too, I actually, even though I really felt like I was in a different world from the people in the other camp, like the more premier and premium campsites, I never felt like we were too far away from anyone. Right?
Yeah.
It definitely had, I like that Alyssa used the word flow. I just overall liked that I never felt too far away.
Yeah.
Like in Midgårdsblot, for instance, like you could feel like you were a hike away from those stages. But this was definitely, it all felt like it was more together, but the people who paid for the premiere and the glamping, they were sort of what they wanted, which was more out of the way and more segmented. But yeah, so overall layout and all of that, the lake, it was just so nice having a lake to swim in.
Yeah.
And I didn't even prepare for it. Like I didn't bring swim trunks or anything. Last day I got so desperate I just swam in my Fjellraven pants, right? Like, but being in the Montana sun, they dried in an hour just me standing in the sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely like having that. Also, like it was kind of like a hiking trail, kind of to just sort of if you needed a moment, and you could still hear the music from it. I thought that was nice. Yeah. So yeah, location. I guess to summarize this, getting there is not as daunting as it seems. With that said, not easy, right? But definitely it's not like a life or death situation getting there. And there's the option to fly in. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we have to say about the location and the camping. So let's get into talking about the actual band. So overall, I would say except for just a few, literally a few exceptions, I would say all of the bands really knocked it out of the park. And we don't have the time or desire really to talk about every single band on the program. So instead, let's just talk about, you know, the big ones, the headliners, then maybe bands that stuck with us. So let's just get out of the way. Verdruna was a big pull for most people who were there, right? So probably suffice it to say, set was great. Any standout moments or any prevailing comments, thoughts about the Verdruna set or anything?
I like how we ended it with a lullaby.
Yes, he ended it with actually performing Hibjörnen, which was really nice. Because the highlight of that set for a lot of us is when he sings Fotospal, right? When they, of their normal set, when they tour, is that solo singing moment. I like that they now have another number. That's like that.
Yeah. It changed the you know, the set list. It changed a bit. Yeah,
and then of course Helvegen hit a little harder given the theme of the festival, which we will get into more later when Alyssa steps off camera. And then of course, speaking of Alyssa, you had a little bit of a religious experience with Emma Ruth Rundle?
No, okay, you're making fun of me. It was just,
I'm not making fun of you.
I got a plate of nachos, fully loaded. I sat down, she's playing, and I just had to let the nachos get soggy because I didn't want to like interrupt the sound with chewing. So at the end of her set, I had to scarf in a whole plate of nachos before running off to the next stage. A cold, soggy nachos, but worth it. Yeah, laugh it up.
Yeah, no, so Alyssa's walking over with this big plate of nachos. We get one song into, and this is before Emma Ruth Rundle's set. One song in, I look over, she hasn't eaten any of the nachos. she's like, oh, I just don't want to interrupt it. I have never seen a human being take so long to get through a plate of nachos, specifically because you were having such a moment with the music that you were just like every song.
It was enchanting.
It was enchanting.
Yeah.
I would say, for me, the song that stuck out the most with Arjuna Nerset was Hirthan.
Oh, Hirthan?
Hearing that song against that mountain, just because the heartbeat's really important to me, like in the work that I do. I was just
blown away from it.
I was like, I'm good.
If I moved off of Arjuna too prematurely, I will also I will also say that it was clear like all the musicians. This can be said about every band too, because of like the special significance of the festival. The musicians of all of the bands really brought it all because of just like the significance behind the event. I mean, at the opening, they play Curation was the opening one. All you see is Jan, the nickel harpa player, just bouncing the most furiously I've ever seen him bouncing side to side. And I think that was just one little like vignette of just everyone sort of brought more to that event than typical and considering
Even
these
if I remember
musicians
correctly,
always.
Einar was swaying just a bit.
They were all moving, so Einar started dancing. I was like, ooh, a treat. But yeah, they all definitely did. So now, anything else to say about Overture? Okay, because if I moved on to one band and one of you brings us back to Overture, I'm gonna start feeling like a really bad host. And then the video I posted to Instagram of them performing Skuga against the backdrop, it was just like seeing Overture in that setting was literally like nothing else. Like that is the type of setting made for that music. Right?
It absolutely was.
Cool. Chelsea Wolfe.
Yeah, Chelsea Wolfe was definitely a highlight. I've seen her 2 times at least, one acoustic and one, the little doom elements, electronic elements. So my favorite is always her acoustic performances. And opening that Friday night, that was just like icing on the cake.
It was mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Do you have anything else you want to say about her?
Mesmerizing. I was just kind of in a trance watching her and listening to her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that actually brings me to like the way the program is organized. I actually gave this feedback because I made that joke about 8 hours of blast beats in the sun.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the biggest feedback points I gave was just like varied up a little bit. Because in 2022, I remember when Snakes played, like that country
awesome.
rockabilly band, that was a highlight for so many of us. We were like, yes, variation. You know what I mean? And I just noticed that this year they definitely took, not that I was the only one to give that feedback, right? But they definitely took that feedback to heart because the first day they clearly organized the festival. But like day one was like folk.
Yeah, there was no heavy bands. I mean, because you could
the
say
heaviest one was
Sage Bond.
Oh, Sage Bond. Oh, what a wonderful artist! I mean, like the Iron Maiden style on an acoustic guitar, and she was such an incredible vocalist. Oh my god, that was killer. Was the Lupercalians.
Yeah, that was definitely.
We napped. We were napping. We were sleeping off that car ride. Yeah. So you were. I just remember you're a very shy, reserved guy, and I was like, "How was the band?" Fucking awesome. You did not reserve that at all.
Munley and the Lupercalians.
Yeah. Like Denver legends, like local Denver legends for years. I feel bad I had to sleep through it, but yeah, put on a great set from your enthusiastic
They
review.
did. It was the dark, because they kind of have that like dark gothic Americana.
Yep.
Kind of a little bit of like psychedelic type feel to it, and just all their mask and their get up just played. I thought it played an important part in their set. Everybody was kind of like in the background doing their thing, and Munley was being. That man had he had a stank face, and I mean that in a good way.
Oh, in the metal community, we all know what you mean by stank face.
I mean that in a good way. Yeah, that was an amazing show. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and that's just like what I really loved is that sort of like that day one, like getting settled into it. I guess only day 2. We weren't there for the Thursday thing with the powwow and all that. I wish we could. We just weren't able to make it for it, but I've heard nothing but incredible things. So I guess our day 1. which was the Friday. I really liked the way they sort of eased everyone into it for like a mellow beginning, and this will play into, we'll talk about sort of the different atmosphere of the sobriety aspects of the festival. It definitely also played in with that. And then day 2, but I do also want to say Hex Vessel. Their acoustic set.
Yeah.
Their acoustic set.
That was beautiful.
It was beautiful, definitely. So day 2 was when things, yes? No? Alright. Day 2, I lost track of the strikes. I don't have the heart to kick him out of the video. He seems to be having a good time, so anyway. Cricket, you're in charge here. This is your world and we're living in it. But day 2 was when definitely the brutality started to kick in.
Yeah.
Any bands from day 2 off the top? Zompantli and Panopticon. So
Yeah.
Zompantli was the bands where, just from a distance,
That caught me off guard.
the riffs were so brutal.
Dirty.
That was my sleeper
Dirty.
hit. Dirty. It was just
So
filthy
dirty.
talk about stank face.
Yeah.
The entire set. We were up in the hill hiding from the sun under the trees going,
I remember even going down to the porta potty. Like, not too much information, but even like sitting down in the porta potty, I was like, yeah.
yeah, it was a great band. And then of course, Panopticon set Autumn Eternal. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite albums of all time. Austin's an incredible artist, great guy, and seeing that played in its entirety, it's funny because I like that he. It was funny in the middle of the set. He was like, "We haven't played this album together this way in like over 5 years or whatever he said." So thanks for being patient. I was there like, "Patient? This rips. What are you talking about?" Yeah, that was another great band. Anything from day 2 that you guys can think of? Was Steve on Tail Day?
Steve was
Yeah.
Steve Von Till.
Yeah.
The myth, the legend.
Yeah, I just lost track of what happened on what day. Maybe I shouldn't have organized this by days because we were all like sun fried our brains.
Yeah,
But
I can't
yeah,
remember
Steve
what
said,
day,
I mean,
yeah.
like, I was fortunate. That was my 3rd time seeing him play live. And just like that man, like, that set always hits me just as hard. Right?
Yeah.
Can you listen to his music yet? You always said you haven't had
I
enough.
listened to it at the festival.
Yeah, you always say you haven't had enough therapy to listen to it.
Yeah. He's a person that strikes chords for sure.
Mhm.
That's why sometimes you need therapy before you can listen to it.
And especially the new tracks, like Watch Them Fade live, that
I can't and I won't, no I will not watch them fade. No I can't and I won't, no I will not watch them fade away.
I mean, of course, his sets have a, what's the word? A quietness to them,
Yeah.
right? And just adding in Watch Them Fade that has that pulse to it definitely adds a dynamic to the set that otherwise, hasn't been there before this record. But yeah, seeing him play live is always, because he has such a presence, you know? Anyway, yeah, we could talk about him forever. Yeah, but just in general, I think the other bands to really highlight here are the bands that sort of incorporated the Blackfeet youth into right.
Yeah.
So Pan American Native Front, they opened day 2. I think so. You know what? I'm going to stop trying to remember who did what when because this is just going to be a train wreck. I don't know why I did this.
Yeah, I think they did.
But they brought the Blackfeet youth onto the stage to wave the banner and to sort of also hype up the crowd. That was one of those special moments.
Yeah,
for sure.
seeing those kids, up there just like hype. I mean, one of the kids was hyping up the crowd big time. He's like, come on.
They were having a great time.
Yeah. And with the whole mission statement of the Pan American Native Front, I mean, like that just really worked well. And then Inter Arma in the rain, having the kids bang the drum.
First, hold on. Before you go to the end of their set,
Oh.
the power outage,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all like, okay, that fucking drummer. Someone needs to give this guy a fucking gold star or whatever. He kept that crowd there and entertained, even in the drizzle, in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he started playing Black Sabbath War Pigs,
The whole festival sang.
The whole festival, it was such a moment. The whole festival was singing along. Everyone knew the words, you know, and it was kind of like an homage to, you know, Ozzy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that alone was incredible. And then, of course, the power came back on, the band kind of tied it up.
Yep.
But it was still incredible. But then, you know, at the end, even in what started to be a downpour, just like they invited these kids on, who I'm sure they practiced that rhythm with to play. Like those kids they were into it.
Yeah.
They were.
No, thank you for highlighting that. I mean, yeah, the power went out. That happened last year because when you have these things that are generator power, I mean, I'm assuming that's what happened because we watched it happen with Visigoth in 2022. But on the best set of the show, of the entire festival,
Yeah.
I mean, like, the drummer got COVID, had to back out. They had the stand-in, right? And then the singer, Andy. And then Jake was hungover as hell because he didn't think he was playing. and then the generator went out. So when this happened this time, we were like, it's got to happen every festival, right? It's got to happen.
This band pulled the fuck through.
The drummer, right, played Raining Blood is what he started with. Talk about a song to play solo on drums, right?
Yeah.
And drummers are sort of, they know that's their thing. When the power goes out or something happens,
Lord.
drummers know they have Run to the Hills, Painkiller, all solo. So that drummer, wow. Thank you for that.
He kept the crowd entertained.
And yeah, Let It from War Pigs, which especially with, you know, the whole thing with Ozzy, Jesus Christ, with Ozzy, you know, take a moment, pour out a beer for Ozzy. That was definitely a moment, right? Having all those metalheads in the rain, in the dark, singing War Pigs together. There's nothing like it, right?
Cool.
And yeah, and then of course at the end they brought on the kids to just sort of hit the drums, which was just, I don't know, I thought that was powerful.
I mean, they were up there. I could see the beat, and they were definitely like powwow mode up there.
Oh yeah, they were.
I made my way to the tent because you guys didn't believe the next day it was going to rain.
I did not heed your warning as the dumb man that I am when you said I'm going to go prepare for a downpour, and I was like, yeah, sure, see you later. And then we were stuck in the merch booth and they kicked us out.
Yep.
Yeah. But in the pouring rain, you know, having those kids wait on that drum and everyone stayed out in the rain cheering them on.
Even with lightning.
We all pretended that first strike didn't happen. Right? Like we all were on the same page. That first lightning strike happens. And we were all like, oh, nothing to see here.
No, that was just a light from the stage that's out.
Yeah, right? But yeah, that was a great moment. And then, Lindy Faye's set. Because that was when the storm started, kind of. Like, she started and then the gusts picked up.
She totally summoned the storm.
She summoned the storm. Thanks, Lindy. No. But no, that was a really.
That was, I think, it's hard to say, like, have a favorite, but just because Lindy was that first album was such an inspiration to me as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just as somebody who plays Nordic music, but I don't want to have Norwegian lyrics in my music, so I opted for English. I was studying that album like a textbook, and so seeing her perform live, we can get into the workshops.
Oh yeah, of course the workshops. And we will definitely talk about that. Yeah, I mean the set was stellar. They played all my favorite songs, so I was happy.
Yeah, I was a very happy camper.
Even despite the technical. Because that was something to say. That one stage seemed to be cursed, technical wise, but it was otherwise they did great. They recovered from that one. It was like a drum pad that went out or something. And Sandra really on his feet was like, "Get my laptop, jerry rig this." And Cricket screaming because he remembers when Lindy said hi to him. So he's like, "That's my friend." And then let's just round off the talking about the set with, of course, Old Man's Child. I mean, first show.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You always say Converge, bro.
Please, floor is yours.
No, it's okay. So they're not a band I'm generally going to listen to on Spotify. It's like one of those bands like, I'll go see them live. because the stage presence is a whole different animal. Yeah, not like I can't listen to them on my headphones. It's just not a band I can listen to.
Yeah, hardcore metalcore vocals are
Yeah,
an
but I
acquired
can
taste.
listen to them definitely in that setting, and like knowing that that band was invited by the Blackfeet kind of made it a little more special, and knowing their themes as well. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that was very important to note. Yeah, and like, I don't know, apparently he like did like some Zoom calls with some of the kids or something.
Yeah, he did the Firekeeper line and stuff. So,
And stuff like that, like getting kids to do their own corpse paint and everything, and like, I don't know, that kind of stuff's really important. I feel like we can't just skip over them.
yeah, I don't think it was the Converge guy that did the corpse paint stuff,
Okay, well,
so that's a
someone-
nitpick, but
I not quietly overheard like bits and pieces, but also like
but your point's well taken.
that pit,
Yeah, that's crazy bit.
like watching the dust get kicked up like that, and then we had someone near our campsite, and he's like, yeah, I went in, got the shit kicked out of me. Died like 20 minutes ago.
No, but yeah, but thank you, because this is why I'm having you guys do this with me, because I always forget to mention things. I got so much rattling on in preparing this and like outlining and stuff. But I mean, like, and not to get ahead to rubbing elbows with the part of the talk that might stir some emotions up, right? But the Converge guy knew the meaning of all of these bands knew the meaning of the festival,
Yeah,
right? And they all
understood.
sorry, Cricket, you're interrupting my point. And so all these artists and all these bands had their own way of sort of addressing, right? And most of the bands decided to have this very eloquent, right, way of speaking about it. And Converge, when in the middle of their set, he essentially just said, like, the way that he communicated that he knew while he was there is he said, I know a lot of us here have lost someone that we care about, and this one's for you, right? And then everyone in the pit who felt comfortable with like sort of expressing that, sort of all put their hands together in the pit, and like that's just an example, right, of sort of, and we will get to that. At the end of the video, we will talk about the Firekeeper Alliance and all that.
But it's also like having all these bands who you feel like deep down do understand the purpose of this festival.
Yeah, they were all aware.
They have their own experiences with this topic. Yeah.
Sorry, Cricket's ruining the Converge part, but he's trying to figure out how to attack and destroy the phone.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but with Cricket interrupting us, I mean, like, yeah, so he's derailed the Converge thing a little bit, but just point made, Converge, I think that they really did a great job of like coming to the show, coming to the festival, knowing why they were there, knowing the power of what they were doing, and you could tell that even for people who don't typically listen to Converge, even I was sitting there like really enthralled in the set, because like you cannot deny that they felt it, and anyway, they carried the point of the festival very well with their music. So I guess then the only thing that's left to talk about really is, I mean, I loved Blood Incantation. I know it's not your guys' cup of tea, but Blood Incantation ripped for me, I know. But I guess that the last big name to talk about, of course, is Old Man's Child. First show in 20 something years.
20 or 25 years.
20 or 25 years, and they almost had to cancel because of that lightning storm. Let's just talk about the lightning storm real quick. As we said, we all collectively agreed that first lightning strike didn't happen, right? But then it happened once Inter Arma was done.
Yeah.
And that's also started pouring down rain, and that's when we all had to evacuate and go back to our tents.
Well, first off, everyone rushed for the tents. So I was in the tent across like the first stage, and not gonna lie, we were packed in there like sardines.
Yep.
What's the phrase you use? Like nut to butt or something like that?
That was for my butcher days. Whenever we all had to, whenever someone would be at the bandsaw, someone would be at the sausage machine, and someone would be at the cutting board, we'd be nut to butt. So thank you for bringing me back to my butcher days. If I'm gonna send this one clip to Matt, who was the one who would use that.
Go for it.
Yes, nut to butt, like sardines is the more.
We were packed in there, bunch of stinky, soggy metalheads, and then they told us we had to leave.
Yeah.
And it was a long.
It was a long journey.
Muddy walk.
Yep. See, I was rubbing it in that I was covered in wool, but then I was wearing old Birkenstocks that had no tread on them. So while I was sort of like gloating over you guys that I was all nice and dry inside, I then slipped in the mud constantly because I had no traction.
Serves you right.
Yeah, serves me right. But you know, things weren't looking good,
No.
right? But then, as us mountain folk know, only took about 20 minutes. That sky cleared, and I think it was Jay who was going around on the cart,
Yeah.
on the golf cart. Evacuate the campground. Show's back on, and everyone like moths to a flame went right back for Old Man's Child.
Yep.
And how was Old Man's Child?
Old Man's Child was they were definitely one of my top, even though I gave them so much shit.
Yeah,
That was funny. You were just
why were you giving them shit? They're not your kind. So
there's a personal.
I know we all have those bands where it's like not my thing,
Yeah.
but then we see them live, and
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
It was just the whole black metal.
Right, I know. And as black metal heads, right?
It's part of the thing, but the riffs were amazing. The performance was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they like completely ripped.
Mhm.
Like what a note! I mean, like, and I know that for the organizers specifically, that set was like something that they wanted for them as like a present to them. For like, we did it. Let's have Old Man's Child. And the thought of them coming all the way from Norway to then cancel because of the lightning.
That would have sucked. Yeah.
Their first show in 20 whatever years
Yeah.
would have been tragic. That made the energy all the more amazing when
We
we.
even joked about it.
Yeah, sorry for breaking the rain. But it was great. And to me, the highlight of that set was when you and I were standing there, and all of a sudden, who comes dancing by us? Matthias Norvig. He just starts walking up to us. He's gonna kill me for sharing this. And he's just dancing, and he says to us, "I feel like a kid again." And just like, I don't know, that was the highlight for me. Is like I was already enjoying it because then I made him feel old, and I was like, last time they played, I was 10. And you can tell Matthias just, thanks for ruining that for me. But no, I mean, like, just the energy of that show and seeing them play live, like, that was awesome. They crushed it. The set was great. I love he announced the wrong song. I don't remember what the name of the song was. He was like, Mortal Gate! Turned around, 10-second silence, turned back around.
Wrong song.
Wrong song! And then, of course, the festival closed on Blood Incantation's ambient set, which both of you had gone to bed.
Yeah.
By that point, I was
I
being
was done at that
stubborn.
point.
I was being stubborn. And I stayed for it because I just love it. I love Blood Incantation. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the music. Lectures, workshops. You wanted to talk about Lindy Faye and Sandra's...
That was just great, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, talk about wild child energy.
Both of them.
I know, no, that's not meant as a criticism. That is out of pure admiration. Like, God
Yes,
damn.
yeah, so their workshop was essentially just on, like, freeing your creative... I don't know what they called... I don't remember off the top of my head what they called the workshop. But essentially being there, the point of it was sort of, like, learning how to just, like, sort of improvise and sing and make music.
Freeing your voice.
Yeah.
Freeing your voice, right? Which a
Because
lot
we
of
all
us
know we
struggle with.
yeah.
A lot of us struggle with, right? And were there two better musicians to lead that? No.
That was me.
Yep.
And especially when he fell out of his chair, but you know.
Yeah, Sandra got so into drumming that his chair fell off the stage and he just, while keeping energy up, rolled backwards into the lake.
The thing is, they weren't afraid to, like, express themselves to the fullest, to the point where, like, outside of this festival, someone would have been like, fuck free. You know what I mean? But in a way that kind of, I feel like, let a lot of people put their guard down. Because you see people, like, acting out in the best of ways.
Yeah.
You know, falling down and just laughing it off. Like, ripping the grass out of the ground, screaming, and they felt like it really helped, I think, a lot of people.
Yeah,
drop that
especially you have people who are looked upon as
these idols, essentially.
yeah,
This
like
is a really good point.
like people fanboy, fangirl over.
Yeah.
Just being blunt.
Yeah.
Seeing them,
Deify?
deify.
Deify, we could-
Remembering that they're humans, just like us, and when the average person sees someone like that, just being like a child, remember that inner child screaming, yelling, ripping grass out of the ground,
Experimenting with sounds.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
drooling.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing, again, for a lot of us, we're always afraid of how we're going to be perceived
Mm-hmm.
when we try to express our creative side. So seeing these two creative idols just letting loose, I feel like that's why everyone there was able to even just hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I think was very
everyone
important.
feel very comfortable.
They did an exceptional job.
Mhm.
Even if they didn't have a script, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have an exception.
No, I mean, yeah, that was, I would say that was definitely a highlight for a lot of people, especially with that point of, as you said, humanizing
Yeah.
them, and also just getting people to be okay with making a bad sound,
Yeah.
right? Is because we talk about this as musicians all the time. A lot of the reason people struggle is because they're so scared to even by themselves make a bad
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Or
And you can't.
anyone who's ever had instrument lessons or something the criticisms you get for making a wrong sound.
But that's just, you can't learn.
Yeah, you can't learn like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was definitely a very powerful one for that. I did feel bad we missed Einar's musicology talk, especially me. I feel like, how did I miss
it?
Because we rolled in, we just left later than we meant to on Thursday.
Yeah.
We were enjoying our time at the hotel.
Wait, wasn't the musicology talk on the day we were there for the full day?
No, Einar gave us a Nordic musicology talk as we were rolling into the
Oh, well, we
campground.
fucked up.
I know we fucked up. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I mean, I was definitely bummed that we missed that one. But I heard nothing but great things about it, especially when he went up. Apparently, he went up to actually play Hibjornin, and as he went to strike his harp, they started sound checking. And so he goes.
Vicky's talk was also
Vicky's talk, that was
Yeah.
the one I was going to bring up next, Lost and Found, for her talking about Sami heritage. That was a recurring theme with Lindy's talk too.
Yeah.
Was a lot of the Norwegians talking about, not to say it's the exact same experience, but the fact that a lot of the Sami in Norway did experience, because Norway and Sweden kind of studied how America did it, and applied the boarding school
Mm-hmm.
type thing, and so both Vicky McCallson and Lindy talked about rediscovering or dealing with their Sami heritage that had been
But
downplayed.
a really good point,
Past,
so you're learning about the Sami, and that's very important, but also hearing someone saying she's discovering her heritage, she doesn't know how much of it she's allowed.
Mhm.
And especially in an American audience, where we're all nuts, we don't know, half of us don't even know what our heritage is,
Mhm.
and if we do have some of it, how much of it are we allowed to express?
Mhm.
And that kind of fear of expressing or taking something that maybe you're not allowed to take.
Mhm.
And she discussed that, which I think for a lot of people kind of, there was a woman in the back tearing up.
Yeah.
At that thought, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, we've all had that struggle, I don't even know what I am,
Mhm.
am I allowed to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, it hit other levels than just learning about the Sami as well. It's,
Mhm. Yeah, just dealing with basic questions of identity,
Yeah.
which is just always
Yeah.
that's a 21st century,
Yeah.
that defines the 21st century experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, anything else to say on Vicky's talk?
She's lovely.
Yeah, no,
Toodaloo.
Vicky, I know you're watching this. You're wonderful. Thank you for being there, and thank you for giving the talk.
The location for the talks.
Oh, you want to say something like that while I wrangle him?
Yeah. Yeah. The location of the talks, and not having all the lectures in the morning without the interruption, minus the sound checks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just judge it up against each stage was against the Two Medicines Lake,
Yeah.
and
They were also very personal.
they were very
We were on the
personal.
same level, there wasn't really a stage for them, there was presswood.
Yeah.
And you felt very involved in the lecture,
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't feel like this was someone up on a stage that you just listened to like in a lecture hall. It was very like community focused
Yep.
almost.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'll say I did enjoy that they had all the talks in the morning up until around 2 or 3,
Mhm.
and then switched to the music.
Yeah.
I mean, none of those were getting drowned out by
Yeah.
metal.
and you know what, you guys, this actually reminds me, just like overall thought about the actual program of the bands. I really, really wanted to make this point. I even have it written right here, and I still glossed over it. The actual program itself was not nearly as like non-stop condensed as other festivals, and instead went for a quality over quantity type thing.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that the program didn't actually feel claustrophobic
Yeah.
in any way. If you guys will say something about that, like I felt we had it wasn't like I was rushing to go see everything, right?
Yeah, right.
And it actually felt like the pacing of the actual program was one of the more enjoyable programs I've ever seen at a festival.
Yeah, it was like if you wanted to see every act, you certainly could.
Yep.
And
there was no running across.
you can even just keep your spot and just like
We did that.
take binoculars or something
Yeah.
and watch the band that show.
What was that, the Eagle stage or something?
Oh, I can't remember the name of the stages.
But yeah, there's the second one, like you could sit there and you'd still listen and watch
Mhm.
the stage farthest from you. So it wasn't, you didn't feel rushed at all. You just hunker down and just enjoy the day.
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure. So I'm sorry, I really wanted to make that point.
Oh yeah.
That the program was paced so well, and I did not at any point in the program get the
It
exhaustion
had breathing room.
that you get.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of festivals. Like the exhaustion that you feel mid program of like, okay, I'm tired of running and trying to see everything. I'm just gonna go take a nap,
Yeah.
right? Or that's just a me problem. But anyway, before we talk about, I think the only other program, I mean, Binours gave their talk. I mean, listening to Simon and Ivar, I have an interview that is going to be posted probably the week after this one with them and with Nick from Firekeeper Alliance. They were delightful. That was just like kind of watching two college buds just like talk about definitely. And then of course Kevin's native song talk.
That one was a powerful one.
Yeah, nothing was kept secret.
No.
Like he told us his life story
Yeah.
at 9 a.m, and for his life story, that was a lot at 9 a.m.
That was a lot for 9 a.m.
And it made the actual presentation of the songs, specifically considering his history, the importance of dawn, making it to another day, and talking about those songs that he had to greet the dawn.
Yeah.
And I wanted to use his to just talk about in general, just like the presence that the Blackfeet had in general. I think was incredibly meaningful and showed that this festival wasn't just a whole bunch of token gestures, right?
Yeah, no, they were represented so well, and just the elders that came on between a lot of like,
started every day program
with song, So yeah, it wasn't just hey, we're a bunch of like white dudes, here on this reservation. It was actually like people coming together as a community, and like that is so important.
Yeah. It's just like the amount of the talk program space that was there for the Blackfeet to educate people about the culture of the land that we were invited onto as guests for this festival. I wish I could have gotten more talks, but you hit a contrition point where it's like I need to eat, I need to go to the bathroom, right? Or I really need to go get out of the sun for a second.
Or you just need a breather.
Or just need a breather, right? And it was just like all the talks were so well done, and I really did. It's up to them whether they felt well represented or not at the festival,
absolutely.
of course. But just for me, I felt really happy with just how much of it was spent with me feeling like I'm learning a lot about people who I before this didn't know as much as I should have known about. Right?
Exactly.
Any last lectures to talk about? The music and healing one, I don't think we went to. We were swimming.
We were swimming.
I actually think I was disrupting that one. That was when I went swimming. It took me too long
Wow,
to
it's awfully
realize.
quiet here.
Yeah, the world's loudest individual shows up to this quiet swimming side. I just go, wow, it's quiet here. And everyone's like, Jesus Christ. But no, it was like, so when I went out and I was swimming, like I looked over and I saw like Steve and Chelsea Wolf in that, and with others in that tent talking about music and healing, knowing that I was in the background shirtless swimming. And it took me, like, it was once I was done swimming where I was like, I wonder how much they could hear me. And in the back of my head was your voice saying, all of it. But sorry to anyone if I disrupted that one. It took me a little too long to read the room, so to speak. Which I guess brings me to, like, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the sobriety aspect of the festival, because I know even after it's done, getting a lot of people saying I would go if there was alcohol. I'm gonna lead this one. I know I've already talked a lot, but just like, as a guy who really, really loves beer, like, we go back, all right? I didn't miss it. The non-alcoholic choices, I used to be the first guy to be like, non-alcoholic beer, just drink a seltzer. But like at the NF Festival, I'm like, all right, I see, I get it. I thought that the sobriety aspect of it, not only is it like required to be on the reservation, so it's not even like it's up for debate, but just to say, I didn't miss it, and I thought that the atmosphere and the vibe of the festival was better without beer.
It was better probably than any other festival I've been to.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as someone who like struggles with social anxiety, I often would use alcohol to kind of like suppress that anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't feel the need for it because everyone was so welcoming, and it was funny waking up at a camp and no one was hungover.
Yeah, and that was the joke with the morning yoga. It's like, oh, I see you have a full class. Nobody's hungover here.
The morning yoga leader instructor was like, I have never seen so many people at my 8 a.m. yoga class. She was like, that's what happens when it's a dry festival.
Yeah.
And you know, those kinds of rippling effects were really, look, we all saw the anxiety, like metal festivals and beer are like peanut butter and jelly.
People seemed more, in a way, focused on the music. I heard less talking in the crowd.
No obnoxious banter between songs.
Yeah, anyone who's bantering chose to be outside of the crowd, which is perfectly acceptable, but inside, everyone was there to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not something I'm familiar with, and it was like being at a classical concert.
I said that Chelsea Wolf in particular,
Yeah.
you could hear a pin drop between songs, and that's when I was like, oh, there's no beer here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a symphony,
Yeah.
right? Where like I actually everyone's just there to listen, and no guy talking some chick's ear off in the background who can't get away.
And it was just, everyone was very present,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it was nice to feel so present.
Mm-hmm.
At such a special festival.
Yep.
You know? And of course, like, you know, sobriety out of respect for the rules of people hosting it.
And I'm on point. You can edit this out if you want. But the people who did sneak in beer, because yes, I saw beer cans in the recycling bins.
Shame.
Very disrespectful to the people who welcomed us as guests on the
Because
reservation.
if we want this festival to continue this amazing place, respect the people and their.
Because they welcomed us.
Yeah,
they welcomed, like, we were having burgers with like the kids of the families who were like.
Yeah, that was so special.
You
it's
know,
like
just
having the kids come up to me and talk.
Yeah, and so it's like, you know, this is people welcomed us with open arms in a way, and are allowing us to be at a festival that we didn't even know was going to come back.
Walk their woods, swim in their waters.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, out of respect, you know, and I love alcohol, let's be honest here.
Like my beer too.
Yeah, but
I didn't miss it.
Didn't need it, and I feel like the festival was better without it.
Yeah, other rippling effects, the kids that were at the festival.
There were so many kids, and also that was the best part because, one, you got to see mosh pits with kids in them because the adults were sober enough to like make sure that they didn't get trampled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and mosh pits are usually good about that, but still, like, people just being alert with their surroundings, the kids were able to enjoy it. You didn't have to worry about people like getting pissed off at each other. Because every festival you go to, someone, you know, indulges too much and gets banned. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you locking him in the bathroom?
No, not the bathroom. I'm not a monster. He's gonna hang out in the bedroom for a second.
Right. And it's something else. It's like, you know, if people are so used to having alcohol at those festivals, and you are a person who is like on the fence, like, okay, look, like I want to go to this festival, a little uneasy about the no alcohol thing, but in my mind, it's like maybe it's a chance to realize I can have these like existential experiences without the use.
Yeah.
Unmediated experience.
It's like, and that can be scary. Like all of a sudden you're just like, I'm sober with all my thoughts.
Yeah, the kids call it raw dogging life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you got a raw dog
that
life.
can be daunting, especially in today's society. Like, holy crap! But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's if you're on the fence, hop off the fence and come join us because that was incredible. And
Long story short, I didn't miss it.
Nope.
I thought the festival was actually better off without it.
And there was no point where I felt like I wanted it either.
Yep.
So.
That was the first metal festival I've been to where someone wasn't kicked out of the campground on day one for punching someone.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
That says everything. Was that while I was?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, but you're actually right. Like because some people, yeah.
So not every.
Alcohol can
A
bring
lot of
out
people
some-
get belligerent when they're drunk. They can't all just like get happier.
Yeah.
And those wild cards are actually what makes some people feel like a little bit more
close.
uptight.
So everyone was
Because
very
it's like,
relaxed.
who's going to do it next, right?
And this is probably the most I've ever socialized with people I've never met before.
Yeah.
And people were just, again, very open. Like I feel like a lot of walls were dropped because everyone was sharing the same experience of just being present.
So, anything else to say about the sobriety part?
Only just to touch on, like, the NAs. Like, the NAs were great.
They were, the cerveza.
It wasn't bad.
But the Kolsch.
The non-alcoholic options were great. I'm still really wondering why Liquid Death didn't sponsor it. That's the whole reason Liquid Death exists, is to make not drinking beer look metal. Like, that is their, I don't know. Maybe next year, maybe there's stuff there's a falling out between Liquid Death and Fire in the Mountains. But I don't know. I thought that was a weird missed opportunity. But other than that, the non-alcoholic options were great. Didn't miss it. Let's move on because I think we covered pretty much everything we needed to.
Yes.
Cool. Thoughts for next year? Maybe some things throughout the festival that we would like to see next year. I'll just start because it segues from the beer. Festivals make most of their money off of beer sales. Like, that's just a fact of the business.
So switch over to selling bathing suits and towels, and I think we'll make up for it.
Merch. Metalheads love their merch. T-shirts, hats. I do want more merch options because if they really lean into that, my little crow brain wants all the shinies, right? And I want to collect them all. And I just really think that's a really good option for making up for the lost revenue from the beer sales. And also maybe more raffles, like special things. That because they had the bison skull that they made. Not saying they need to start raffling off bison skulls, but that made me think of the opportunity. Like, what if there were these special mementos from the fest? Maybe a headlining band signed something, right? That would be another great way. So most of my feedback really just has to do with, like, if we want to see this festival continue, it does need other revenue streams aside from beer. And that, I guess my first feedback is definitely make up for it with merch and raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any of you guys have thoughts of?
I don't think I do.
Yeah.
Thoughts for what I'm going to do next year is bring more shade somehow.
Bring shade.
Bring shade somehow with me.
All
And to anyone who hasn't been, dress for cold and extremely hot.
Oh yeah, the weather's shit.
The weather fluctuates.
Let's not sugarcoat it. It's Montana in July.
It is, again, language, fucking hot during the day, and it is fucking cold at night. So just dress appropriately.
Plan accordingly.
I slept like a baby wrapped up in my little
Oh, no. When I cocooned into, under the 5 blankets I had and my sleeping bag, I was out.
Because this is our first, because we're used to, we're in
For
Colorado.
anyone
We're not
who's
too,
a lot of what I heard was people weren't prepared.
that's what I'm saying, is we knew what to prepare for, so we were fine. But
That's why I'm sharing.
yes,
Yeah,
so for
layers.
everyone else, you cannot bring too many layers.
And wool socks go a long way.
Wool, that's why I sort of flaunted it early on. Like, that wool is your best friend for that sort of thing. Especially because you do get those, especially in July, you get those evening storms that are going to roll through. Definitely bring swim stuff.
Yeah.
As I said, I regretted it. I just swam in my pants.
I literally just went in my underwear.
Yep.
Yep.
That was That was nice.
Yeah.
But no, but seriously, shade. I would actually bring. I would bring my own umbrella for next time.
Yeah.
Maybe a big wide brimmed hat. I gave you mine.
Well, yeah, because
you just look too good in it.
because you just need a break from that sun. It can get exhausting. Heat exhaustion's a thing.
Bring a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Camping chairs. It was funny seeing
Camping
the.
chairs or blankets to sit on, because those thistles get you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't sit on thistles in
Don't
case
sit
you
on
needed a
thistles.
little
I
service announcement.
Because I've never seen someone sit down and shoot up so fast. You're like a pogo stick.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! And that was at one of the talks, and everyone sort of you had an audience for it. Amazing.
I did like that the camps. You know, they did have the common area where you can cook breakfast.
Oh,
and get
yeah.
shape. I like that.
Yeah, you were discouraged from cooking at camp. People still did it, but there was the common area around the campground.
Honestly, some great conversations.
Met some
in those
great
common
friends,
areas.
met some great people,
Yeah.
and of course we had to borrow a lighter because we kept losing hours, as one does with lighters. No, it was. I think also the sobriety made it easier to talk and make friends with people
Yeah.
at that common area.
Yeah.
But enough beating that dead horse. I do want to talk about the app real quick, Helga. Just because a friend of mine made it, and you were using it too.
Yeah.
Like it was harder
I
to
can't
use
use apps
without
for
service. Yeah, your phone is so old.
No,
it wouldn't even
no.
like audible.
No, actually, I could use it without service.
Oh,
I had like
that's right. It downloaded.
it downloaded,
Mhm.
so you had the whole program
This is an
there.
excellent plug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, of course, I didn't charge my phone, so viewing it was a
We
task.
were using it in the drive up.
Yeah.
Right, quite a bit to actually see it. Yeah, the
Really
Helga
bad
app.
back.
The Helga app. I've been going to festivals for years, wondering why has no one made an app for these friggin' programs. Why do I have to keep loading up like a 1990s spreadsheet on these websites of who plays when? And yeah, just want to plug that app. I hope more festivals use it because it definitely made it easy for us to actually see what was going on and actually read some important info on the festival too. Anything else before we start talking about the Firekeeper Alliance and the overall impact? Do you want to stick around for? We won't get it. I made the Instagram. I made the post on Instagram. But I'm not going to talk about details. So if you want to stick around,
Maybe I'll stick around and I'll leave if I feel like it. How's that?
All right, cool. For anyone wondering why we're doing this, read my Instagram post for why the Firekeeper Alliance aspect of the festival was so impactful for us and for so many people in particular. So the Firekeeper Alliance is a collaboration. It is literally an alliance between people to raise awareness for suicide that really disproportionately affects Blackfeet and other indigenous youth as well. And so a huge part of bringing this festival to the Blackfeet Reservation was to use heavy metal as a way of healing or giving kids especially an outlet for being heard and processing these negative emotions that often lead to suicidal ideation and stuff like that. And so that was this was probably what really set this festival apart from other festivals I've been to, was this really important, we all talk about it, metalheads wax poetic all the time about the catharsis and the healing and how important it is to us. This festival took those words and put them into action in a way that I have not seen another festival do, and they really leaned into it. At least to me, I cried every damn day at that festival.
Yeah.
Just seeing the things we talked about, the kids drumming for Inter Arma, the Pan American Native Front guys letting the kids wave the Blackfeet banner, and just knowing how important it is for these kids to be seen and heard and feel understood. The Firekeeper Alliance just did that's what really stuck with us. We talked about that for like the first 2 hours of the drive home before you all fell asleep and had to take
Well,
your nap.
it's I don't know, a few points is that it's really important for, I mean, I don't know this is why I think it's an opinion, but when you say to be understood is because suicide has such a, I feel like for a lot of people it's something to be ashamed of and that you hide. A lot of, like when you are in that state of mind, you do not talk about it, you do not open up about it. It is very much close to the chest. So inviting these kids to be a part of something where it's just laid out in front of you, this is what it's about. And it's kind of being like, almost accepting that that is a way that people feel, that is something that people experience, is just so unbelievably important. You know, as someone who has struggled with suicidal thoughts in the past, it's like unbelievably important to not be shamed, not to push it aside if it doesn't exist, to really just shine a spotlight on it. And so that way you know, like, okay, I'm not the only one who feels this way. You know, I might feel this way because of something very unique, but, you know, and yeah, just like, and then having those kids up in general, whether they felt that way or not, just having that available to see how many people care enough to literally put on an entire fucking festival. And again, going back to the metal thing, having an outlet for emotions. Because, at least for me, and other people I've known, like, balling up your emotions, and again, keeping things close to the chest can lead to exacerbating that feeling. So, like, really just, like, seeing kids in the pit, seeing kids beat the hell out of the fucking drum, like, I felt like that was very important. And really, like, again, putting into play what they're trying to accomplish. So that's what I'm gonna say.
Empowering these kids who might otherwise not feel empowered.
But also,
right?
and also showing them that people care and they are loved, and there's no like, what's the word? Stigmas. I guess because, you know, I'm not sure. Like, again, this is my perspective. I am not indigenous. I'm not, but like, being raised in like Christian environments, you know, Christianity has made its way onto reservations. It's a big part of that, but, you know, suicide is something that is not okay. You know, you don't really talk about it. It's frowned upon. So, like, for everyone to be there to sing songs about feeling that way, you know, letting people, like, thrash out to, like, feeling these emotions and letting them, like, hear about it, feel it, and express it, I think that is a huge, they really put it to play. They really did what they intended, which was good, so. Yeah.
The festival felt like it was for the kids first.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, they were showcased in quite a few places, and just, you know, talking about, you know, the inter arma aspect where they had them up there drumming. I mean, just drumming in general is just such a good way to release those angers and frustrations. I mean,
like, what
give
better way
kids
than
drums.
to beat this shit or something? You know, and in a rhythmic way too. Like, you know, that's music is, I don't know, I feel very healing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and just to have that whole crowd cheer for you, you know, just this person who has done, you know, work with the young man, just being seen.
Yeah. That's
Being seen by your elders, and, you know, just
not
just your elders, but, you know,
your peers.
Your
like,
peers, yeah.
People in your community, or even outside of you, just getting recognized. And, like, seeing the smiles on their face after that, like, you know they felt good after that.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, part of me is just like, these kids are, like, elated right now. You know, and even if it's for just a moment, that can carry them on to next year.
Yeah, and they can take that back to the next kid.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, you know, and also, like, the idea of having something to look forward to. Especially, and again, I don't know the details about what it's like living there, but it's an isolated place, you know, and so in isolation, again, that can aggravate that feeling. So the idea of, again, having this big event where, one, it already made you feel good once, and then you have an opportunity, maybe, hopefully in the future, to feel that again or experience that again. You know, that could, I know it sounds silly, but, like, that could also be the thing that keeps you going.
That's not silly at all. That's like the point.
I know.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's just weird to talk to people. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, I'm just sitting here like, I kind of wish I had stuff like that. I know people who I wish had that as well. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave now.
Anyway, alright, cool. Yeah. So Alyssa stepped out just because, family. We have suicide in the family. So just hits close to home. Overall impacts, you know, thoughts of the festival. I think maybe we should start it, you know, just the two of us rounding off this video that is already way longer than I thought it would be. We really want that French toast that I promised at the end of this. There's nothing I want more than to see this happen again. Festivals are not easy to run. They usually operate at a loss for the first few years, if not every year. But the takeaway segue from the Firekeeper Alliance that has my utmost admiration and respect, and seeing what they're doing and knowing that these kids maybe can have another year to look forward to it, you can't underestimate the importance that it has for kids. So yeah, anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, just basically what you said. I was so just amazed at the community aspect of it, and just both ends of the, like, we are all human. We are all in this world together, and that's what it felt like at that festival.
Mm-hmm.
We are all in this together.
Yep.
And that's the healing that we need. It's just, yeah, all those, politics, all that crap, just it's thrown to the side, and we're having this human experience together, and it is powerful.
Yeah, I mean, powerful is definitely the way to put it, because you and I and Alyssa, pretty much the whole ride home, for like a 14-hour drive, I feel like we were all having our own personal reflections and meditations on sort of what we had seen over the course of the weekend, right? And I really don't want this to seem like some arcane, esoteric festival with these takeaway points that will make you more enlightened or anything like that. Because sometimes people talk about festivals in that sort of way. No, it's just like it was just such a human event.
Yeah.
That just like those walls came down and people were able to actually like just sort of look into other people's experiences that they don't often get to look into.
That was my thing. Yeah, with the real, we got to hear real experiences about life on the reservation.
Yeah.
And that was very impactful.
Yeah, so, with all that said, do you have anything else you want to say about the Firekeeper Alliance and all that, other than just go support them?
No, just they did a fantastic job.
Yeah. It felt genuine, at least from the outside looking in.
Yeah, outside looking in, it felt very genuine.
Yeah. And that said, the entire festival ran incredibly smoothly. Like, everything was done. Like, those organizers, props to those. Dude, the sun-crusted, dirt-speckled volunteers and organizers that were running around all weekend looking like Bigfoot or Castaway actor. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks in Castaway. That's what all the volunteers looked like by the end of the weekend. So hats off to you guys. Props to you guys. Thank you for inviting us there to do our part in supporting and promoting or spreading the word about this. So I guess like bullet points, spark notes, wrapping this up. Sobriety was not a problem. Music was awesome. Location is nothing to be. Do not be intimidated by it. You can get there. You're not going to be in the middle of a desert trying to find out where Fire in the Mountains is.
No, and once you get there, you're like, worth it.
Yeah, and we knew that would happen. 14-hour drive. I got to the end of it. I was like, what drive?
Yep.
I was there for 10 minutes. What drive? I don't care. And yeah, I hope to see this festival flourish and continue, because if any festival deserves that, it's this one.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Cool. And so I guess that's all we have to say. And Alyssa's going to sort of airdrop Cricket into the lens. Yeah. Sorry, Cricket can't go. You guys see how fussy he is at the end of this 1-hour recording. Imagine how he would be on day 2 of a festival. But I know he has the larger following. All right, cool. That's a wrap. Sound good? Well, you guys want to go eat and make French toast?
Yes.
In that order?
Sure.
Sure. All right, cool.
Thank you, James.